Welcome to the game dungeon. Now if you're like me, you can be a little let down once Halloween is over. Because now it feels like it's just me that wants spooky stuff to continue pretty much year round. And society no longer has my back on that. Even though they did last month. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. Well, I've been wanting to make a post-Halloween episode for exactly this occasion. We've got a game here that's honestly not that scary, but it's got a mood to it. And it's perfect for trailing off Halloween and dropping us into November. Daemonica. I think that actually is how it's pronounced. It's sort of an RPG, but more of an adventure game. One of those hybrids. Let's get going.
It's always the ones you least expect. They appear silently and then disappear again into the dark.
So strangers.
No clues left behind. No witnesses. Human abominations, beasts.
Listen to this sound effect.
But one trace always remains. Hidden beyond this world, far from the eyes of mortals. This is where I shall search for it.
Search for what? Okay, let's go.
After a few miles, the landscape had changed beyond recognition.
Right.
The sky was overcast with heavily laden clouds from which every now and then blinding claws of lightning.
Well, this monologue goes on a little bit. He's talking about how it's cold and raining, but really he has no one to blame but himself. I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure they had sleeves in the Middle Ages. Hey, fashion can come at a cost. Also, this game seems to be struggling with the fact that it's a game. This is more like reading a book. Don't tell what you can show, you know? In fact, in the menu, if we click on story, it's just all the written backstory. This would have been perfect for a voiceover with image slides and sound effects. Oh well. Now you probably think we should follow the path, right? No. Well, yeah, you can do that, but we need to look for herbs, so let's hop to it. I've played this game before and I don't remember a lot, but I do remember we need herbs. So while I'm digging them up, what's going on here is this guy is Nicholas Fairpoint. He goes around solving grisly murders. He uses unorthodox methods, has all sorts of angst going on with his life, says people don't like him. It's not clear to me how he earns any money normally, but we have an actual commission this time. The mayor of this town has called for us. This is basically going to be a medieval, low fantasy version of the movie Seven. Okay, I found some herbs, let's get moving. Yeah, kind of lame. Despite having a good voice actor for the monologues, that's all we get. No voice acting on any of the dialogue. Oh well. We come inside and are greeted by the mayor, who says to follow him. We can't talk out here. And that leads to everybody's favorite, the follow the NPC sequence. Yeah, not a great start, but I'm liking the look of this village. You can tell they're kind of generic assets, but I feel like the designer really made them work. I think the lighting is what does it. And I have no idea if I'm right or not, but this has a torque engine look to me. It's giving me that torque feel. Maybe someone can confirm or deny that. And speaking of the engine, I want you to know I tried to make this widescreen. I busted out the hex editor and thought I found the right values, and it did technically work, but I wasn't able to adjust the aspect ratio or field of view. That's above my pay grade. So we're just gonna have to work with 1280 by 1024. Back to the game, we make it to our new house, then the mayor gives us the skinny on what's going on. He hired us to solve a couple disappearing, but since he sent that message, a girl has been murdered in a super heinous way. Stabbed all over, cutting the skin off her back, awful stuff. But not to worry, because her fiance was at the scene of the crime and had blood all over him and was out of his damn mind, just muttering to himself, couldn't communicate at all. So that must be our culprit, right? Well, the mayor sure thinks so, which is why he had him hung immediately. Next day even. He fast-tracked the whole process. So that's all taken care of. Nothing we really need to do about that. But hey, that couple is still missing, and if they were to turn up dead and we could tie it back to the guy we already hung, that would be super convenient. But hey, just see what you can find. Okay, bye! Yeah, we get another well-delivered monologue recap, and back to the game. Well, first things first. Now that we've been let inside the town, it's herb picking time. So I'll just be picking up every herb there is. Maybe I'll get lucky and run into a clue. If this town has a healer or herbalist, I'm their worst nightmare. There's not gonna be a spare herb for miles once I'm done with this place. Hey, an axe! Why, I have my sword. Ah, you too, huh, Daemonica? Well, I talked to the blacksmith to see what he's up to. The mayor is the biggest bastard on God's earth. If he gives me the slightest motive, he'll be a dead man and I won't care what happens next. Cool. Yeah, it turns out the guy that the mayor hung, the blacksmith here, was training as an apprentice. And apparently the mayor likes to sleep around, too. Hey, it's the mayor's wife, wandering the woods at night. Cool. The herbalist saw you coming in her dreams and warned me against you. Talk to her, please. It is important you discover your destiny. Aha, so this town does have an herbalist. Sounds like she's a smart woman. She knows I'm gonna put her out of business. Yeah, she warned you about me, huh? Well, she was right. What are you doing there in the bushes? Looking for herbs? Well, you're wasting your time. I already got them. Moving along, we meet a fisherman. He moved here because of his sister. Now she's dead and he hates it here and wants to leave. He thinks the mayor is strange, but don't tell him he said that or else I'll have him burned. Okay. Next, we meet the mayor's wife's maid. She hates it here and says the mayor doesn't like her. But it's time to meet my nemesis, the herbalist herself. We'll see who's better at picking herbs. Darkness spreads around everywhere, and a putrid ulcer seizes every clean thing. Its blood is black, and its breath kills. Yeah, she's talking about me. Says we're all doomed now. She says she's not feeling the evil from me, but it doesn't matter. It's my fate to bring about the end times. Nothing I can do. Okay, I know where this is coming from. It's because he has tattoos. Nicholas doesn't hide them. They're out in the open. I'd say it's less common now, but it used to be a lot of small town people would talk like this. For example, I'm a guy and I have long hair. I could expect a similar reaction from people in a town like this. Long hair, tattoos, envoy of darkness bringing about the apocalypse. It's all the same thing to people like this. Except Nicholas has it even worse, because at least people like her can tell me to cut my hair. So I have a chance for redemption. But he can't just take off his tattoos. So that's it. He's damned. He's in league with the devil now. Nothing he can do. Okay, Grandma, I'll just be on my way then. And my way leads me to the landlord's son. He's an arrogant prick who hates the people here. He studied at Oxford but has to lay low here because the Black Death is in full force now. Moving on with our roster is the town doctor. He mistakes me for someone else. I get confused, then he's like, oh, no, shut up. I thought you were somebody else. Never mind, you didn't hear anything. Okay. The mayor is a degenerate man. I won't talk in details because I don't tell tales, and as a doctor, I should maintain confidentiality. He says there's barely any fish left. The fisherman should leave soon. He also doesn't like the herbalist. Listen carefully. It's just a matter of time before she poisons somebody, and we'll be lucky if it's just one. I heard she even pours that gunk of hers into the local wells. Oh boy. Well, the doctor examined the body of the girl, says he thinks it was a curved blade and there was gravel in the wounds. We are all to blame for it. Sins. Everything that happens is God's will. Rotten plants, choking mist, animals behaving strangely. All this for our sins. What could be worse than God's punishment? There's no point in defending ourselves. We will all pay in the end. Local people don't need to cure their bodies, but souls. We are all sentenced to a slow death here. The water is hardly drinkable, and the bread made from local corn causes cramps. There's nothing left here to protect. We're all paying for our ancestors' sins. Okay, thanks for the diagnosis, Doc. Finishing up our roster of characters is the local landlord, who's surprisingly nice. I guess he inherited the land. Some crazy guy is screaming that voices are telling him where the treasure is and he has to defend it. And finally, the tavern owner, who's just trying to save up enough to get out of here. He would sell the place in a heartbeat, but nobody would buy it. So he's just gonna have to cut and run. He's also the first person who actually believes that the guy who was hung is the one who murdered the girl. So score 1 for the mayor. Anywho, my tour of the town is complete, so time to mix up some knockout drops so I can drug the guard and steal the body of the guy who was hung and take him back to my place. Doop-a-doop-doop-doo. Back at my place, now I need to mix up a special potion to kill myself. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the reason Nicholas is so good at his job is he'll mix up a potion to kill himself, then he goes through this special procedure to talk to the dead, then hustles some demon to carry his soul back to his body before it turns cold. So it's sort of like a medieval detective version of the movie Flatliners. And there's my potion. Yeah, see, I needed a bunch of herbs for that one. Now he also has to chain himself to the wall. I didn't follow what that's all about. That sounds like what you'd do if you were worried you were going to turn into a werewolf. He's drinking poison. Seems like you just lie down for that one. Don't drink poison, kids. When people talk about the Socratic method, this isn't what they mean. Plus, you're not qualified. See, Nick here has special training in the language of demons in order to boss them around while his spirit is drifting away. It sounds like it might be Middle Eastern in origin. Well, they do have that hell crater. Okay, off to the land of the dead, or somewhere. I'm a little disappointed. This is more like the foyer of the dead. You have to choose the manner of death of the victim you want to talk to. And after you do that, then it gets complicated, where you have to choose what motivated them in life, the sign they were born under, and the demon you want to talk to. You get any of this wrong, you're toast. The lesson here is just because you kill yourself, that doesn't mean you get to escape bureaucracy. Sounds like hell to me. And listen to all this spoken dialogue we're getting in demon tongue. But can't be bothered to have the villagers speak. And here's the real realm of the dead, I guess. Just some wisp. We talked to Roger, the dead guy, but he says he's tormented, wants you to leave him alone. But Nick says he wants to bring justice for his fiancée. Roger says he doesn't care about justice. He's dead. He's got other problems now. So Nick counters saying he has to protect the living from the murderer. But Roger's not buying it. He says he doesn't care about the living. He's dead. Are you thick? Yeah, this isn't going so well. Then Roger steps it up a notch and says, hey, Fuzz, I'm a ghost. Want to know exactly how and when you'll die? How about I tell you that? Bet you want to hear that one, huh? Oops, too late. Yeah, you're gonna die by your own dagger. I'll be seeing you again soon. But Nick keeps annoying him, so Roger gives in. Says he doesn't know who killed his fiancée and doesn't care. He mentions how time has no meaning here and said that there was a brooch at the crime scene, but the mayor stole it and that's all he knows. Now leave me alone. And surprise, the game actually allowed you to screw yourself at this point. Because if you didn't lock your door beforehand, the mayor and the guards burst in to hang you just to be safe. But I'm giving this a pass because that only sets you back 5 minutes. Plus, the game warns you multiple times to lock the door. And really, that's just common sense. I mean, who keeps dead bodies in their house and doesn't lock the door? Not me. So Nick comes back from the land of the dead and has an incredibly bad hangover. It takes him an hour just to get back out of bed. Yeah, I guess dying would do that to you. Worse, really. Honestly, I'd say the trip to the dead wasn't worth it. The conversation with the ghost went about how I thought it might, and he barely knew anything. I guess we'll follow up on the one clue we have. Talk to the mayor about that brooch. The mayor says blah blah blah, quit bothering me. This is going nowhere. But if we explain the problem to the blacksmith, he's more motivated. That perverted bastard. I'll be happy to give you a hand. I'll talk to him and you can be sure he'll be more talkative afterwards. Indeed he is. He threw it out somewhere near the crime scene. You have disappointed me greatly, Mr. Fairpoint. Yeah, well, your face disappoints me greatly, but that doesn't stop me from doing my job. And yep, there's the brooch. We ask around and it belongs to the landlord's prick son. Yeah, don't worry about it, Pops. I'll return this one to him myself. He denies it's his at first, but I press him, then bam, we get a full confession. That's convenient. A lot of murder mysteries don't work out like that. Well, he didn't actually murder her. He found her dying in the grass, tried to get her help from the monks. They didn't do anything, so she died. Then he brought her back to her fiancé's house to frame him. He says she was stupid because he liked her, but she liked her fiancé instead of him. Yeah, now it sounds reasonable when you put it like that. Then he changed his clothes and told the mayor he heard screaming coming from Roger's house, and that was that. So he's guilty, but he's not the murderer. More like conspiracy to commit murder of Roger. He didn't kill the girl. Then he says he only told me all this just to see the look on my face before he killed me. On guard! Yeah, that's a real smart plan, kid. Threatening some out-of-town drifter older than you with tattoos, dressed in a leather medieval muscle shirt who has a sword on him at all times? And the game switches to action combat. I kind of wish I could block here. I feel like this is another Eternum problem, where this is going to alienate people who don't want to have to deal with any arcade action at all. But for action fans, this is happening an hour or two into the game. They're not going to make it this far to begin with. Thankfully, I'm in both camps, so on we go. Spare me, please! Yeah, whatever. Oh, I can block with the space bar. That's what I get for skipping the manual. Anyway, this scene draws a big crowd which we don't get to see. The truth comes out that the mayor hung the wrong guy, then they haul off the landlord's son for some frontier justice. And now the mayor's pissed at me, says the guy he executed was crazy anyway, the landlord's kid wasn't the real murderer, and the people are starting to panic. Well, he's not wrong. Then he says go find his wife in the swamp. What the hell? Why? Didn't she have a guard next to her? Whatever. Along the way, I bump into the wife of the crazy guy at the tavern. She says she's forbidden from talking to strangers. Otherwise, her husband will think they're after his imaginary treasure and beat her again. Well, that makes sense. So, moving on, there's his wife. And look, the guard is still there. What's the problem here? She says she doesn't want to go home and has a guard with her. That's what I was saying. This is pointless. The mayor just wants to watch people run around. I'm going to bed. I got stabbed tonight. Nick has bad dreams. He wakes up and there's blood all over the side of his house, the fisherman's rod snapped in two, and a scream off in the distance. Another day, another dollar. I look all over for him. I can't find him. But I do find some herbs. The maid's in love with him. I'm not telling her he's probably dead. And the crazy guy's wife is out looking for her husband. He's missing too. Well, I'll be sure to tell him he's crazy if I see him. I may have to see him though. It turns out he was stalking outside the doctor's office waiting for him to leave so he could steal some of his papers. I guess I'll look for him since I have no more leads, but just so you know, this isn't really my job. And in the middle of this, we get a training minigame with the blacksmith to get better at sword combat. This is another one of those situations where I can't tell if the game is bad or I am. I'm blocking now, but it feels completely random as to whether the enemy is going to swing, block, or just stand there. We're both very fast at blocking, so even if he's standing there, or if I try to attack him immediately after I parry him, that's no guarantee it will hit. He can always block my attacks anytime he wants to. It feels like a slot machine. It is relatively forgiving if you play a lot of action games though, but it's not if you only play graphic adventure games. If you don't have arcade reflexes, this could be a complete roadblock for you. Again, this feels like such a small niche of players that they're targeting mixing the two genres like this. I'm not complaining personally, but it seems like you lose sales doing this, or at least people who finish your game. From here, we start going off the rails a little bit because the herbalist says she'll find the missing crazy guy, but she needs a special herb that is invisible to the naked eye. But not to fear. She has the solution of me drinking her own special brand of poison that will allow me to see the herb. Yeah, this is mandatory. I don't have a choice here. She says to come back once I find the herb so she can get the poison out of my system. Wink, wink. Down the hatch. Seems like we're drinking an awful lot of poison in this game. Yep, there's the magic herb. Let's head back to the witch. I mean, herbalist. Yeah, she doesn't have an antidote. Instead, she just bleeds me to the brink where I'm literally starting to see a demon come to take my soul away, but then eases off. Well, I should have seen this coming. Nick may be the #1 herb gatherer, but that doesn't mean the local one's going down without a fight. The herbs give her some vision that the guy's underground. I think she just wanted to get high and she's making the rest of this up as she goes. That means he's in the mines. So we would head there, but then some cultist shows up to stab us again, I guess. Oh, he's just a monk from the monastery. Yeah, that would make sense. He says they need to talk to us. Fine. It's not like I know what I'm doing. The abbot there says one of their brothers is about to commit suicide and they need me to talk him down because there's some internal monk politics going on and it will be better if a complete stranger does it. Okay? I go and talk to him and he's having none of it. Alright, some of you may want to avert your eyes for this next part. It gets pretty graphic. Yeah, this all feels like it's coming out of nowhere. I go back and tell the abbot the monk's dead. I guess the moral here is if you want a job done right, you don't ask a complete stranger off the street? Well, the abbot says, aw, shucks, and asks if we can at least go get the body for him. Sure, why not? I at least know something about hauling bodies around. Plus, as luck would have it, he landed right next to the mine, so this is on my way anyway. As soon as I get down there, some bandit has already looted the monk, stole his robe, and tied his naked body to a rock and dumped him in the pond. This is a very proactive bandit. I'm surprised he would see value in a dead guy's robe with blood on it, especially when the Black Plague is roaming around. But here we are. Oh, and he wants to rob me too. Nope. Aha! So we finally get to the mines and hey, we find the missing guy from earlier, before we got here. Not the new missing guys. It turns out he's a zombie though. Flesh decaying, black blood, the full package. Though we can still use a weapon. This is definitely going to complicate the investigation. We fight, but he just runs off. That's not very zombie-like of him. And the crazy missing guy is here too, but he's just dead, not a zombie. So that leaves only 2 missing people, the zombie's wife and the fisherman, but I wouldn't hold my breath on either of them. Well, you know the game wants us to take this body, but dragging a body through the town gates is hard to explain. So we dress him up in the monk's robe, since I'm supposed to be hauling that body through town. Aha! Using the old noggin. Yeah, so back at our place, it's time for some more poison action. And here we are in the land of the dead again. Fill out our forms. And there's the crazy guy. This conversation is even less helpful than the last one. Not only is he in denial that he's dead, all he wants to know is where his money is. Yeah, can you imagine dying, coming to some light at the end of a tunnel, and then the first thing you see is some guy saying, "Where's my money?" Actually, I can't imagine that. So the only thing of value, he says, is that somebody said they'd pay him money if they stole the doctor's papers. That's not that helpful, though. Yeah, back to the land of the living. You know, I think Nick is a little quick to jump to killing himself as an investigative technique. So far, the information we're getting from these ghosts is weak at best. I feel like the risk versus reward ratio is just garbage here. I mean, I probably still wouldn't do it, but if I were to head to Death's Door just to ask a ghost some questions, I'd want some pretty big answers, like the location of Atlantis or something. After I can walk again, I go tell the doctor what happened. He tells me to get some sleep. Fine, I will. Now you may have noticed this already, but I have to say I really like the mood to this game. I mean, sometimes just walking around at night among the torchlights and hearing the crickets, yeah, it has something I like that I can't explain. I've heard people say the same of Stardew Valley, though that's not really my kind of game. You know, I actually don't remember how this game ends or who the murderer is, but I totally remember this town vibe and the music. The music! There's not a lot of it, but it's all good. I guess the combat music is a little generic, but it's mostly the town music that has this sinister but comforting vibe to it. I love it. Plus, I think I'm hearing some influences. I mean, this one sounds Metroid-ish. And tell me this doesn't sound like it could be straight out of Gothic. It's all great. It's easily accessible too. They're located in the game folder as high-quality WMA files. Yeah, wow. Windows Media Audio wasn't one of the winners of the music format wars, was it? Well, off to bed. More crazy dreams of the mayor's wife and the fisherman with snakes coming out of his mouth. Then bam, 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 somebody at the door. Hi, I'm Fabius, but you can call me Fabulous, because look at me. He's bidding me farewell because I'm leaving. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not leaving while there's a body in my cellar, bub. I ask him why he came here. He says I'm rude for asking him direct questions and says he doesn't want to waste any more time with me. Okay? Then he says I don't understand what's going on here. Twice. And nothing I'm doing is helping. But of course, he's too busy to explain to me why. He says I'm gonna die and thought I would be wiser and tell the doctor he's here. I've dealt with people like this before. Going from friendly to passive-aggressive to aggressive in the span of 30 seconds or so. They get offended by direct questions that would cut through the bullshit. And of course, they have time to wake me up and argue with me, but don't have time to explain why they think I'm wrong. I guarantee you Fabius's descendants are posting on an internet forum right now. Well, welcome to Murder Town, Fabius. You'll fit right in. Yeah, the blacksmith doesn't like him either. Thinks he's dangerous. Man, this guy should be mayor. The real mayor has been spending his time literally staring at a wall, according to the maid. That's a good sign. Well, we find him at the doctor's house, and he says my services are no longer required. He also wants to know where the doctor's lies about him are. All sins of the past shall be burned. Not even a fly will land on his window if he doesn't permit it. All shall honor him very soon. Well, enjoy the megalomania. I've still got a case to solve. The witch reminds me I'm doomed again and is confused why I haven't killed her yet. Okay, Grandma, remember to eat. And apparently the doctor has run outside the town walls. Cool, my missing persons list was getting a little low. Let's go find him. Instead, I find a guy scared out of his mind hugging a tree. But he's not reported as missing, so, carry on. No problem here. Let's check the mines. Yep, it's that damn zombie again. Can we just kill him this time? Don't pull a Resident Evil 3 on me. I hate having to kill the same guy over and over again. Oh, he can. Good. And here's the doctor. He came down here looking for his papers and now he's dying. Says the zombie poisoned him too. I can offer him a healing potion. I was actually saving this for myself, but fine, I'll pick some more herbs, I guess. I take him back to my place where he gets better until he says, uh-oh, I'm about to die again. Quick, what month were you born in? And there he goes. I guess we're finishing this conversation later after I've had a nice tall glass of poison. Yeah, here are my papers. There's the doc, and I guess third time's the charm. He tells me just about everything. Again, we're missing out on not having a big cutscene here. The super short version is there's an ancient demon that got imprisoned around these parts. The Catholic Church knew about it and it was safely sealed for hundreds of years, but it looks like he's trying to break free and that's what's causing all the problems around town. In other words, this is Diablo. This game is a prequel to Diablo. Awesome. Okay, not exactly, but the plot is almost the same and they both have that great somber town music. So the doctor's papers say how to unlock the demon, I guess? So I need to just take care of everything. Okay, bye.
Suddenly, everything had begun to fit together like a jigsaw.
Uh-oh, I checked the internet. The jigsaw puzzle was invented in the 1700s. Now, maybe it existed earlier, but this is the 1300s. We're flirting with anachronisms, Nick. Watch it. Back on the case, the witch asked me to kill her again. No, Grandma. And now some of the monks are missing. Damn it. Fabius is in the church graveyard giving me more passive-aggressive talk. Fabius, if you go missing, I'm not looking for you. Oh no! The witch got killed! We have to fight a demon thing. And this is a demon, not the demon. We haul her back to our place because of course that's what we do. Do you really need to kill yourself again to talk to her, Nick? She wasn't holding out on anything. All she's gonna do is tell you you're doomed again. And whoops, there's the mayor's wife. Okay, this is gonna be hard to explain. She says I should have locked the door behind me. Yeah, I guess so, but he probably just wanted to set the body down first. So congrats, you got me in the 1 minute window I left the door unlocked. She says she's in love with me, even though we've literally only talked maybe twice in this game, and it was just about where people are.
Have you seen this boy?
Yeah, it was about like that. But this is a small town, and he has muscles and tattoos and is a loner with a lot of angst. So, sure, this doesn't seem too far-fetched. But unfortunately, this creates a paradox. Because she doesn't care that you have a basement filled with bodies. So that means it's going to be okay and you can be with her, right? Well, no, because you don't want to be with a woman who doesn't care that you have a basement secretly filled with bodies. I think this is a no-win scenario, but they're making it out like he'll take her away from here after the case is over. Okay, I just don't think this is gonna work out. Oh good, it's your now crazy husband. Just who we want to see. Hey, I'm eloping with your wife. That's cool, right? He tells her to head back home and says to meet him at his house. He wants to talk to me. Yeah, I bet he does. So we come to his house. He offers us some wine. Don't drink it, Nick. He's crazy. Nick drinks the wine? Then the mayor tells us he's working for the demon and would offer us a position, but he doesn't think it's going to work out because this is just a big stall tactic because he just poisoned our wine. Damn it, Nick. Oh, also, in the 30 seconds it took you to walk over here, I went and drowned my wife. Can't run off with her now, huh? Okay, you're poisoned. Bye. Yeah, this is mandatory. You can't not drink the wine. And I guess that's the game. Nick's an idiot. Okay, awards time. First award, Best Diablo Prequel. I like how the big twist was this was all more or less a build-up to the events in Diablo. I didn't see that coming the first time I played it, and I somehow forgot that the second time around. I like Diablo, and I like the surprise prequel also. Second award, Great Village at Night vibe. I'm not saying the best, because others have probably done this better, but this one's surprisingly good. To pull this off with just simple assets and what's probably the torque engine is impressive. I mean, maybe I'm just brainwashed, but I didn't get sick of the backtracking because I was enjoying the atmosphere. On the contrary, it made me really wish I could see the village from the ground level and not just the isometric view. In fact, drop me a line if you want to take a crack at that, though I won't be any help at all on a technical level. Also, if you know of any other game villages with great night vibes, let's hear them. The one on Melee Island from The Secret of Monkey Island is pretty great. That would be close to the top of the list for me. The one from Vermintide would be good, but that's mostly just screaming Ratmen all the time, so that kind of takes away from the mood. And the final award. Okay, Trick or Treat, he's not quite dead, just sorta in between. And he starts hearing his dead mentor / ex-girlfriend, I think?
You are very lucky he used poison to which you are partially accustomed.
Yeah, you know what? I buy that. Nick here chugs so much poison, I can believe he has a partial tolerance to whatever the mayor used. Anyway, his dead ex-girlfriend says he's an idiot for poisoning himself so many times just to talk to Ghost. I kind of agree. She also says she knows what he's thinking. Don't bring the mayor's wife back to life. See, in the Foyer of the Dead, you pick the same demon each time, but you can pick another demon to try to bring the person back to life. But nobody's ever done that and lived. So it says in his diary nobody attempts that because it might be suicide. Now, his dead ex-girlfriend may not be an impartial judge here because she knows they want to hook up, but I still think don't drink poison is good advice on her part. Well, time to get up and kick some ass. If we go back to Nick's house, all the bodies have been removed. Somebody did us a favor, honestly. It was gonna get rank in there. If we wander around town, demons are just starting to take over. We save the tavern owner from one and the landlord. Those are both optional, actually. But come on. What's the point of playing a game called Daemonica if you're not gonna step up to the plate? The blacksmith's having a blast. This is the most fun he's had in a long time. Again, mayor material. And we find Helen, the mayor's ex-wife now, I guess. This drowning seriously happened within 30 seconds of real time. Look, here's your house, here's the mayor's. The time to walk in between those two is when he drowned her. And you know Nick, he sees this and he's gotta poison himself again. He comments on how liberating it feels to not have to hide the fact that he's hauling bodies through town since everything's in chaos. Simple pleasures. Now, I just saved my game here, but I think the game might actually allow you to poison yourself twice in a row here. Because again, you get to pick which demon to summon, and if you just want to talk to her, it gets weird. She just starts talking about how amazing her blood is, and it talks to her, and she can learn a lot from it. Sounds a little vampire-y to me. Yeah, this would not have been a good relationship. Well, what the game wants you to do is ignore your dead ex-girlfriend and go ahead and resurrect her. So, here we go. Well, Nick lives, that's good, but nothing happens. She's still super dead. So, yeah, this is getting anticlimactic. It's probably just as well, though. I got the feeling she was going to technically come back to life, but this is going to be more of a pet cemetery or reanimator situation. Things can always get worse, guys. Well, to spice things up, the monks opened up a crypt leading to a secret tunnel. I got lost as to why they did that, but whatever, it's Diablo. Inside the crypts, look who it is, Mr. Fabulous. He starts lecturing us again. Jesus Christ, this guy. And he says straight up he wants to liberate the demon. But he's not all bwahaha about it. That would be better, honestly. Instead, he just keeps saying, I don't understand. I think he said that to me maybe 10 times by now. Yep, see? You know nothing. There, he did it again. Man, this guy is getting on my nerves. But he finally tries to explain himself, saying that the past watchers of the demon were weak, but he's better, and don't worry, he'll use the demon for good. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's totally something that's going to happen. This next part is so on point, it's painful. He says the Pope is being controlled by the Queen of France, and now the Black Death is rampant. Coincidence? I think not. So naturally, we need to release an ancient imprisoned demon. Does that really make me the bad guy? How can you not see it, you fool? This is exactly how political discussions feel to me nowadays. I mean, this is 1300s politics, but this hits closer to home than I thought it would. Let's keep going. There's another demon, some puzzles, a zombie begging me to kill him, not a problem. And this part is kind of cheap. Guess how we find one of the secret keys? Yeah, we cut open this mattress. This totally background junk prop looking mattress. And this is after passing multiple other junk mattresses. Oh look, a broken down desk. This could be critical to... No, this is all garbage. Now this is hardly the worst from adventure games, but it's still cheap. Well, we make it to the inner chamber and there's the mayor. He's all bummed and is speaking in the third person because he disappointed the demon. Surprise, surprise. Uh-oh, cover your eyes. Okay, this is it. This is the showdown. Here's the demon and Fabius being annoying. And hey, this game has multiple endings. Let's scratch them off. The easiest is to just give in to Fabius's delusions and let the demon possess him. Yeah, go for it, you stupid bastard. And mixed feelings on this ending because we get a looping CGI video which looks nice, but then the entire ending is just text on a screen. Apparently it would have killed them to have some art slides here portraying what's happening. Oh well. It says the demon enters his body, everything is completely normal. Fabius returned to Rome, then later we get a new pope and the Crusades go into overdrive. It sounds like the demon was playing the long game. I'm pretty sure this was the wrong choice. So let's rewind and fight him instead. Skip ahead a bit. We kill Fabius, but then we enter this demonic circle of power here. See, I think we shouldn't have done that. And the demon is super pissed we killed him, but says our body will do instead. See, this is how we know Fabius didn't know what he was talking about. The demon wanted to possess him. Fabius was an idiot. But look who it is! Helen is alive after all, and appears to not be a zombie. Wow. Turns out she's the great-granddaughter of some important guy who imprisoned the demon, which gives her an edge? I don't know, I'm lost now. So the demon possesses her! And she's acting totally normal. Okay, honey, let's run away together like we talked about. So this is a dilemma. Your options are to either kill her or run away together. This is a problem because we're operating in the dark. See, this isn't the movie Fallen, where we have clear rules of how our demon hopping works. If you kill her, Nick is even more angsty than he was and feels awful even though this was probably the best thing for humanity. But was it really? See, if we're operating under Fallen rules, that means if he kills her, all that would happen would mean the demon possesses him, and that's no good either. The only thing I'm sure of is he shouldn't have stepped in that glowing circle binding the demon. What the hell, Nick? You're bringing half of this on yourself. So the only other option is to head off with Helen, which seems to work out, though it's permanently in the back of his mind that she's possessed by a demon. I've been there. And he sleeps with a dagger under his pillow with her every night. The end. Yeah, this is kind of a mess no matter how you slice it. Now, admittingly, possessing a commoner woman during the Middle Ages means it doesn't have much in the way of power to do too much damage. But again, I think this demon is playing the long game. It's gonna be on the lookout for a better mark later on. And we get to hear about what happened to some of the villagers depending on if you saved them from zombies or not, which I did, so more good than bad. Oh, and it turns out the fisherman got zombified and hunted down. Still never found the monks or the wife of the missing couple. Now, the wife of the crazy guy came out ahead since she said it was just a matter of time before he was going to beat her to death. So that's something. I don't think anybody really wins this game, but Diablo's ending was kind of crash and burn too. It's like I said, Halloween's over, so this game prepares you for November. What we probably should have done is let Fabius get possessed, then as he's walking back, shove him over the edge and run away, then tell the monks to bury the entrance again? I don't know. Awards! Yeah, I've got one more. Rasputin approved. Okay, he wasn't frozen or shot, but he was stabbed, and I counted. Nick got poisoned 6 times in this game, with a possible option for 7. And I'm not even counting how he may have shrugged off some poison from that zombie whose attacks poisoned the doctor. I'm not seeing a character get poisoned this many times in a game and still live. I'm not sure I've heard of this in anything. And I don't mean some abstract poison status effect in an RPG where all it means is you take damage for 30 seconds or something. No, I mean it's in your bloodstream, you're down for the count, Grim Reaper's coming to take you away. Nick is the Poison King. This is insane. And that's the post-Halloween episode. Stay tuned for the next one for a a first-person shooter with great music. And I'll have a bonus for you too. It'll be good.
Ugh.